In this video, let's take a look at importing your survey stamp into Traverse PC. Now, I brought up an older survey here that I had put my stamp in. Oregon stamps are pretty simple with just some arcs and lines. And I bring in my signature separately. So if I'm not going to sign it with ink, I bring in my signature. And then I have to go in and update it every 2 years. So the latest update brought this up to end of December 2021. So I'm going to show you how we do this for a user that sent us his stamp from Arizona. And I asked permission to be able to show this. So I'm going to create a new drawing, and I'm going to use an empty template so there will be nothing in it. And those of you who have worked with 1x1 blocks in CAD understand why I'm going to set this scale to 1 feet to the inch. Then let's go ahead and import that survey. So he had sent us his file. And I generally go in and turn on the options to explode hatching. I might do some block flipping if it includes those. I never quite know how complex the blocks are. But let's go ahead and import that, close this out, and here's his stamp. Now I'm going to go ahead and do a window extents, which uses a scale of the window I'm putting in here for the stamp. So here I've got his stamp. A couple of things that are a little bit unique about this is the signature is in here, just a whole bunch of short line segments in the DXF file. It's got arc aligned text, some arcs that are specified in here as well as the circles. And then Ben said he needs to sign or put in the date signed each time. So we're going to talk about how we're going to do that in Traverse PC. So let's go ahead and create a block for this. Now I just brought in the DWG file, so this is just lines, arcs, circles, text. As soon as I create a block for it, I'm going to have a block out of it. So let's go ahead and select all those. I'm going to insert on one of these outside circles here. Now I did this just a minute ago, so I'm going to have a stamp I'm going to overwrite here. And then I'm just going to save everything else exactly as it is here. And here's his block. So now I've got the block ready to go here. And what I like to do with these, I like to say, how am I going to use this? Well, Traverse PC allows me to come in and specify the height of a block. I'm going to say 1.5 inches, and I could find out how tall it's supposed to be when you stamp it. And I'm going to make it paper space and hit OK. So now I've got a paper space block that I should be able to insert into any drawing. So let's go ahead and create a new drawing. Let's this time say we're going to use our default as if we're just starting a new drawing here. And let's go ahead and insert this block now that we just created. So I put that under miscellaneous, Arizona. Traverse PC is going to bring that in for us. And I think I have to, maybe I didn't save that with the height here. I should have done that. So let's make it a 1.6 or 1.5 paper space. Okay. Now, remember I mentioned that Ben said he needs to sign this each time? Well, if I leave this as a block, this date is controlled by the data in the block. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to go into groups, blocks, and I'm going to convert this to a group. So the nice thing about being drawn as a group now is that Traverse PC says I can go ahead and edit this as I need to. So I can come into this date. Now if I put the cursor over the group, it all gets accented, tells me I'm over the group. But it also says hold down the control key, and now you can access an individual object. So I want to access just that date signed. So I'm over that aligned object and double click, and let's just come in and put today's date here, 4/5/21. So now I've just updated the date in this block because it's a group. Remember, I severed the ties between this stamp and the original block in there. And then so I got the date in that I wanted. Also, if I wanted to, I could go ahead and save this whole thing now as a template, drawing template. So the template I brought in could now also include the stamp. And I wouldn't have to insert the block and convert it to a group each time because it currently is a group and it would be saved that way in the template. So there you have importing a CAD block, I brought this one in as a DWG file, but you could easily already have it available to you as a DXF. And I just showed you how to create a block, turn it into a group, so now I can edit that date.